Imagine my delight when I was led recently to a new insight. I learned that one of the Hebraic meanings of the word Israel is let God prevail.
Travis Wingood's. I'm doubtful that many of you know or remember, as there's probably only less than a handful that do remember, that I've been a church service missionary for what was then called the priesthood curriculum department. It's now just the priesthood department, unless they've changed it again. But we were the ones that put in the footnotes for the scriptures, made the manuals, did the magazines, did the priesthood relief society manuals that came out on the presidents of the church. And so this was not something that you as a Mormon can just apply for. It's not part of your service mission options, because the supervisor gets orders from the big guy as to what he wants done, and then he goes out and searches for Mormons to do the job. And I was therefore sought out for this purpose, because I'm an anthropologist of the ancient Middle East, or was then too. And so the main project that I was working on was the scripture footnotes for the 2009 Spanish edition that came out with the Guide to Scriptures. And we were told and given President Ezra Taft Benson's first presidency statement on why we use the King James Version of the Bible, which, upon reading it, I'm still baffled. Why you quote the Article of Faith and yet you won't translate it correctly, claiming that this is why we use it, because we have it. Anyway, when we were told that we are not to put in our own beliefs or opinions in the footnotes, we have to have a scripture to reference or a guide to the scripture to put in there. If we put in our own will, our own opinions and beliefs, we can do damage to the Mormons, to members of the church who study their scriptures. And we have witnessed that damage. Not by me. They rejected my scripture references. They violated their own rules and commandments to not put in what I had recommended to be changed. Some of it was due to Bruce R. McConkie. He was still on a high pedestal back then. But yeah, I've done the videos for you over the years after the conference where Nelson gets up and humiliates himself at the pulpit of conference, and yet Mormons don't know their scriptures, don't know the ancient languages, and so they don't know that their living prophet of Jesus has just humiliated them at the pulpit of conference. And instead of going, oops, we made a mistake, nope. Mormons double down and say, Nelson has given us new revelation, a new translation. a word that is so commonly understood as not what he gave. Oh my God. And so yeah, let God prevail, chief cornerstone of the cornerstone, and more. And that's because they did not put my recommended changes. Those were mine. I put them in there. I still remember. Cornerstone and capstone. Yah, Prince of God. Oh, but nope. Oh, we've got BYU handling this. You don't need to put in the correct translation for us, Travis. Yeah, I kind of need to. BYU don't know their business. And so, yeah, by putting in their own will, Nelson humiliated himself at the pulpit of the conference. And so, likewise, when we as missionaries go out on our little kid mission, we represent the church. We are going to people who know nothing about the church and who want to learn more, and then we tell them our feelings and opinions. They then join the church, possibly, or they don't join the church and go on social media and say, this is what the missionaries told me. Do you not get it? You do not know Mormonism. You do not know church history. You do not know your scriptures. You do not know the doctrine. You do not know the theology. You do not know the ritual. And here you are going out, and you are the source of Mormonism. In the eyes of the converts, in the eyes of the world. And so I have to deal with it. All of the crap that you caused, I'm getting the blowback for. Because I just had another person today, when I got back and checked, saying that, you know, this church is ridiculous and Joseph Smith is ridiculous because he used a rock and a hat to translate the Book of Mormon. No, he didn't. He had nothing to do with the Book of Mormon. What? You're not watching my videos. Joseph Smith Sr. had to rewrite the 116 pages that Joseph Smith lost because he gave them up to Martin Harris when his child died. And so if you don't know why they had the Book of Mormon in the first place, then you're not listening. 9/11/1826. Joseph Smith Sr. was the York Rites Master Mason in Canandaigua, New York, where William Morgan was. And as the Master Mason, to figure out a way to save his life and to finish the publication of his book. And so he can't do it because people are already looking for who has it. And so what do? Joseph gets moved over to Harmony, Pennsylvania, in between where Sidney Rigdon is, who's the major author of the Book of Mormon. Linguistic science confirms this. But you got Brigham Young, who comes into the church and is going out on his mission, telling people, we're Christian, Jesus is our Christ, when we're Jewish. 1 Nephi chapter 1, verse 2. 2 Nephi chapter 25, verse 1. And in Moroni 8. Revelations will come to pass. The Book of Mormon is apocalyptic literature written by Sidney Rigdon and Joseph Smith Sr. But yet you believe the lie. And you promote the lie, and others believe your lie and spread your lie. And so the lie is all that's going around the world. Whereas I'm trying to correct all those lies, and it's a struggle because I have a YouTube employee, I have this shelter who's trying to stop me, I have the church trying to murder me, all to silence me so that the lie can prevail. So frustrating. And so, yes, when you hear Nelson, he's lying. It's that simple. Other video is done.